Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is T from Bed Crime Stories. Hope you're doing well. Candace Cooley said in a recent interview that her son Dylan Rounds bought the seed that he was going to plant on his farm in a store in Idaho, and he purchased it weeks before he planted it. The seed was triticale, which is a hybrid of wheat and rye. In 2022, the average cost of a ton of triticale is $1,760.87. Kurt Wadsworth mentioned that he thought Dylan had spent thousands of dollars on the seed. There are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton of seed, although each grain truck varies in size. The largest ones can hold up to 88,000 pounds of seed. If my math is right, that means that if Dylan's truck was really large, it could carry 44 tons of seed. But Candace has said that Dylan's truck was a small one, so he definitely didn't have anywhere near that amount of seed. According to allseed.com, a farmer should plant about 100 to 120 pounds of triticale per acre. 1 ton of triticale equals 2,000 pounds of seed. I don't believe Dylan was able to farm the entire 640 acres yet. It's unclear if he had his pivot watering system throughout the entire 640-acre farm, but I'm pretty sure Dylan planted, let's say, at least 48 acres, which means he would have needed nearly 3 tons of seed. 3 tons of seed at a cost of $1,760 per ton would have cost him around $5,280. That's a lot of money when your farm isn't yet profitable and you're having to pay back the cost of the farm equipment you purchased and some of the equipment that you're leasing. You also need to purchase gasoline to run all the trucks and the tractor. Again, I'm pretty sure Dylan wasn't planning on planting the entire 640 acres on his very first crop. He bought all that land with his grandfather's help so that one day he could have a huge farm where he could grow organic barley for Anheuser-Busch. From what I read, a farmer with a 10 to 15 horsepower tractor can plant a minimum of 8 acres an hour. A farmer with a 100-plus horsepower tractor can do as many as 150 acres, supposedly. But Dylan didn't have a supercharged tractor. He was actually borrowing one from another farmer named Randy. I believe that Kurt mentioned that it was going to take Dylan about 20 hours to plant all the seed that he had. That would equate to a total of 160 acres if he had a 10 to 15 horsepower tractor. He also said that Dylan was running late on that Friday because he had to drive out to Dan Iverson's place to take him a spare part. If Dylan started planting at, say, 2 p.m. on Friday, and he talked to his grandmother at 6:51 a.m. on Saturday morning, that would mean that he planted for about 17 hours. I think it's safe to say that Dylan had ample seed left in his grain truck on the Saturday morning when he drove it to the grain shed. He told his grandmother he couldn't talk because it was raining and he had to get his grain truck to the shed. If seed gets wet, it begins to sprout and it's ruined. Dylan had a tarp, but it had holes in it. That Pricey seed in his grain truck represented his financial future and his dream. If Brenner either didn't open the gate or was slow to open it, Dylan would likely have been extremely agitated, and he would likely have wanted to let Brenner know about how he felt. Now I'm focusing on Brenner. because law enforcement has named him a suspect, their only official suspect so far. Yes, it's possible that someone could have framed Brenner, but Candace Cooley, Dylan's mother, now seems fairly certain that it was Jim Brenner. She hasn't stated that outright, but she did say that it looks like everything went down at the grain shed area. Although, as we now know, she had other people within her sights and other theories in the first week or so after Dylan went missing, when she and Dylan's father, Justin Rounds, had to act as their own detectives. I'll talk about all that in a future video. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories, like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Just want to say to all of you that I appreciate you so much.